Check, check, check.
The views and opinions expressed in the following show do not necessarily represent those of this station or its sponsors.
Getting your work week started right by stretching out your vagina holes with the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space. Call into the show live at 313-444-8919. Again, that number is 313-444-8919. Or you can jump in the chat room at alienxradio.com.
Am I the meanest?
Alien Stone.
Am I the prettiest?
Alien Stone.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Alien Stone.
But who am I?
Alien Stone.
Who am I?
Alien Stone.
I can't hear you.
Alien Stone.
Shogun of Harlem.
Welcome, everybody. You've been beamed aboard the mothership for another live episode of the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space. I'm your host, Alien Stone, screaming through the galaxy at triple redunculous speeds, or at least talking really, really loud in the back row of the movie theater. And you're really pissed about that because you've finally been allowed back in and you're trying to watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's Shocktober, everybody. This is the final episode before Halloween, so of course today will be the day. Today is my Halloween episode, everybody. All of the music will be monster and witch and evil themed. Of course, still be independent tracks, though, so it won't get me kicked off of Facebook and thrown into jail. Also, we will have lots of scary stories, and we'll have the history of vampires and werewolves and monsters and zombies and the history of and origins of Halloween itself, as well as the classic episodes from last year and the year prior, the Halloween episodes of Just a Few Questions, and in hour number 3, the replay of this year's brand spanking new Halloween episode called Rebooting Halloween, where D-Unit and Mad Martin from UG Media both answer Just a Few Questions, and of course they reboot Halloween. So, we are going to go ahead and do all of that and start things the way we usually do with a bit of a history lesson here on the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space.
Broadcasting directly into your brain.
Let's take a look at this day in history.
October 26, 2001. In Washington, President George W. Bush signs the USA Patriot Act more than a month after the September 11th attacks. The act gives federal authorities unprecedented ability to search, seize, detain, or eavesdrop in their pursuit of possible terrorists.
It will help law enforcement to identify, to dismantle, to disrupt, and to punish terrorists before they strike.
1972. American and North Vietnamese negotiators reach a ceasefire agreement. Henry Kissinger, President Richard Nixon's national security advisor, declares,
"We believe that peace is at hand."
But the agreement soon collapses after South Vietnam objects. Months later, a new agreement is signed, ending America's military role in the Vietnam War. 1881. The gunfight at the OK Corral takes place in Tombstone, Arizona. That's where Wyatt Earp, his two brothers, and Doc Holliday confront Ike Clanton's gang. 3 members of Clanton's gang are killed, while Earp's brothers are wounded. 1942.
You're not crucifying people outside the church on Good Friday.
Bob Hoskins, the character actor whose roles include Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Along Good Friday, and Mona Lisa, is born in Britain. In 1946, Pat Sajak, longtime host of the game show Wheel of Fortune, is born in Chicago. Today in history, October 26th, Carlotta Bradley, The Associated Press.
All right, folks, now that we got our history lesson, let's go ahead and kick this pig. And I mean, we're going to get things underway. It's the Halloween episode of the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space. And we'll start things off with a little Lake Monster and Black Heron. Coming up, we've got music from Vince Smith with Release Me and some scary stories, as well as the origins of Halloween and many of the things that go bump in the night.
I used to be a nice girl. Until Alienstone took me for a ride in his mothership. Now I'm an intergalactic hottie. Thank you, Alienstone.
Halloween used to be one of my favorite holidays. Now I kinda just enjoy it when I have a decent party to go to. In 2018, when I was a senior in college, my friend Tracy's sorority was going to be throwing a big Halloween party at the sorority house. She said I could bring one friend since they didn't want too many outsiders at the party, so I invited my best friend Cody. We're very last-minute people when it comes to Halloween costumes. The party was that night and we didn't have anything. Cody was working late, so he'd have to meet me right before the party, so he asked me to get a costume for him and he'd just Venmo me the money. I ran to the nearby Spirit Halloween store that opened up like 5 minutes from my house. I was just shotgunning it. I picked a Where's Waldo costume for myself and a Superman costume for Cody, both two of the cheaper costumes they had. Everything was normal until I got to the cashier. I was on the phone with Cody telling him about the costume I got him and giving him details about the party. I told him which sorority it was, that Tracy got us the invite, gave him the address, and then he convinced me to pick him up instead of us just meeting, stuff like that. All of this was said as the cashier was watching me. He was some guy who was decently older than me, but because of his receding hairline, I couldn't put a gauge on it as to whether he was in his 30s or low 40s. He wore glasses though, and had a skinny-ish build and an awkward presence. As he rang up the two costumes, he had a comment something along the lines of, "Sounds like you have a fun party tonight, huh?" I chuckled and said yeah. Then he started asking more details, like if it's open invite, and had a comment about there being lots of girls. I said it's closed invite and that I barely got an invite. He said it's all good. Then he shook my hand and introduced himself as Mike, so I did the same and told him my name was Sean, and then I left. It was weird. Fast forward to later that night. I picked up Cody and we arrived to the party around 10 p.m. It sounded loud inside, and there were multiple groups of people entering the house before us. At the door, a girl asked us who we knew there, and I told her Tracy. She let us in, and we were in this huge living room area. Music blasting, all the lights dimmed low, Halloween decorations everywhere. And to top it off, people with red cups full of booze crowding the place. I picked up Cody, we saw Tracy and hung around her for a while. We played beer pong and other drinking games. It was a very legit party. But then, at some point, there was a commotion by the front door area. Cody, Tracy, and I and a few others walked over, and the girl at the door started calling out, "Where's Tracy?" She came forward, and the girl asked, "Who is Sean?" I said, "I am." Then she asked me who that creepy guy we invited was. I was confused and said, "Who?" She described some older-looking man in a cowboy costume with a fake mustache. He apparently inappropriately touched one of the girls, trying to get her into a separate room, and she screamed for help. Then he took off with something in his pocket. None of the guys chased after him or anything. Immediately, I thought of the cashier from Spirit Halloween. I told them about it, and everyone got even more creeped out. The party went on, but they were a lot more cautious about who they were letting in, and they even considered calling the cops for a second. That whole thing really killed my vibe, and we didn't stay much longer after that. In total, we were probably at the party for a couple hours at most. We left a little past midnight, I think. I didn't drink much. As I started my car, the car parked like 2 cars behind us also turned on, and as I drove in the direction of Cody's house, the car started to follow. Cody and I were sure it had to be him after it made 4 of the same turns, so I pulled to the side of the road, egging him on to pull over, but the car just stopped for a few seconds, then basically floored it past us. We didn't get a good look at who was inside, but I'm still positive it was him. After dropping off Cody down the block from his house, just being cautious, I was staying very aware of my surroundings, and because of that, I noticed a car in the near distance with its lights off, tailing me. It looked like the same car. I got to a main road, once again pulled over and waited. The car once again waited, and then a few seconds later turned on its lights and floored it in the far left lane, passing me. I was obviously shook, and drove home as fast as I could while I was sure I wasn't being followed. I called that Spirit Halloween location the next day and reported the cashier. They thanked me for the information, but I never went back there, so I wouldn't know if he was fired or anything. Looking back, I wonder if I could have and should have pressed charges. Regardless, I have no idea what he could have possibly wanted from me. But either way, I'm happy he didn't find out where I live.
they say is paved with good intentions. They twist my thoughts until I go against my own convictions. They fill my head with lies and rationalizations. They send my broken will on permanent vacation. I can feel it taking hold of me, and there's no way I'm breaking free. Release me from this spell I'm under before my soul is torn asunder. Can you save me now from this tragic fate, or is it too late? Is it too late for me? Ability to control my actions. No more morality, just bloody satisfaction. Well, I know my will is strong, but it's total domination. Now all I know is death and this violent sensation. I can feel it taking hold of me, and there's no way I'm breaking free. Release me from the spell I'm under before my soul is torn asunder. Can you save me now from this tragic fate, or is it too late? Is it too late for me?
Love tonight lets me go for a while. All I do is sit and cry.
I can feel it taking hold of me, and there's no way I'm breaking free. Release me from the spell I'm under before my soul is torn asunder. Can you save me now from this tragic fate, or is it too late? Is it too late? Release me from this spell I'm under before my soul is torn asunder. Save me now from this tragic fate, or it's too late. Is it too late for me? Too late for me.
Call into the show live at 313-444-8919. Again, that number is 313-444-8919.
Less commercials, definitely.
Or you can jump in the chat room at alienxradio.com. It's the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space.
Awesome!
Welcome back to the Halloween episode of the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space. I'm your host, Alien Stone, and we are broadcasting live into your Vajir holes on Alien X Radio, UG Media, Lime City Radio Network, Sword Radio, Western Reserve Digital Radio, and a host of others that have snuck onto the live broadcast somehow without me knowing. That's a good thing. That's a fantastic thing. Also in negotiations with, I think it's J Parker Radio. We're looking to get onto their station in some way. Having a little trouble doing it live for some reason. Perhaps maybe we'll be on syndication soon in their area as well. Wherever you are listening, you can give me a call at 1-313-444-8919. Again, that's 1-313-444-8919. Today is the Halloween episode, so please make all questions, comments, concerns, all that stuff Halloween related. What's your favorite candy? What movie do you have to watch every year for Halloween? What kind of bands do you listen to? Like my favorite band to listen to around Halloween time, which isn't even a band, it's Rob Zombie. Okay, I mean, he's got an album that's just filled with, in my opinion, great Halloween music to listen to. Like Meet the Creeper and Living Dead Girl and all these tunes that are on that Dragula, American Witch is on another. He's got some great stuff to listen to during Halloween time. Now, I know that some people consider other things like Witchy Woman to be a Halloween song. It's on every Halloween compilation out there. I get it. Got a telephone call coming in right now. Let's see who this is. You are live inside the mothership. Who's this?
Hey, what's up? It is Chaz.
Chaz! What's up, sir? How's it going?
Not bad, man. Hey, happy, I guess in your case it would be Halloween this week, since your next show is going to be until after Halloween.
Right. That'd be the post-Halloween show.
So what is happening, man? You were talking about, like, the movies and candy and all this stuff. Like, listen, I'm going to tell you one thing. First, my absolute worst candy ever is candy corn.
Oh, for sure.
The fact that they even make that stuff anymore is just absolutely ridiculous. Why even bother with it? It's like, you have to go back to Lewis Black.
Yeah.
He made a joke about this.
He made a whole segment about it.
It was textbook.
For sure.
They take all the candy corn out of the garbage, they clean it and wash it, and they never make any more of it because there's so much left.
This is a fact.
He goes into it. He draws it up, and the punchline's a lot better. But candy corn's absolutely the worst.
Well, it's not biodegradable. It's petroleum based, man. It's made out of oil.
It's horrible. It tastes like crap.
Right, it does.
How can anybody eat this? My wife loves it. So I showed her a meme on one of my shows, which, by the way, 7 to 9 on Alien X Radio, Eastern Time. And she says, and I showed her a meme of candy corn pizza. Literally, candy corn on dough.
Ew.
And so, well, I don't know if I taste it. I would be like, hell no, I'm not going to taste that. That is absolutely nasty. And she's like, well, I don't know. So I'm over here. I'm going to check her. I'm going to have her actually see if I can test her blood to see if she's actually human. Because that's just insane.
Right. It's like eating a crayon. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I remember back when we were kids, we used to eat crayons. Maybe that's why they made this stuff.
Right. So we'll take a crayon. We'll add a little flavoring. We won't make it, I don't know what the flavoring is. Ass flavor, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much ass flavor. You're right.
Right.
There was a comment on your video talking about movies. Is there a movie that you absolutely have to watch?
Oh, to watch well, of course, I always have to watch the original Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, where Johnny Depp does his best performance ever in the history of his entire existence, and that's when he blood splatters against the ceiling. Yay! But yeah, I have to watch that one, and of course, the original Halloween. Got to watch that one.
I agree with you. You got to have the original Halloween, not this Rob Zombie made up crap.
Right. I didn't mind the remake of the first one, as long as you totally have to suspend and forget about the first one, to pretend like the first one never existed. But his second one, the Halloween 2, that was just pure trash. I would eat candy corn first before watching that again.
That's saying something right there.
I'm telling you what.
I want to remind all your viewers that on Friday, since you do cover my show, on Friday, the Charles Richardson Show is going to have its second annual costume party. And if there are any viewers that would like to go ahead and win a prize, we are taking submissions for anybody that has a good Halloween costume. You can email them. You can actually email them to Alien Stone if you'd like. He'll pass them along to me, or email me directly at rawtalkonline@yahoo.com. And we'll take them. We are given a prize. I don't know what the prize is, but it's going to be a decent prize for the best costume. We're all going to vote on it, me and the rest of the cast. So definitely, if you want to impress us, and chances are you probably don't, but if you want to win a prize, email us a picture of you dressed up in your Halloween costume, or your significant other, or even your kid. By the way, cuteness is not going to count towards points. I'm just going to be straight up with you on that one. We're looking for scary. We're looking for best dress. We're looking for, we're looking for the best, awesomest costume out there.
And remember, nude selfies is not a costume.
Well, that's a birthday costume, but it's probably going to score very low.
Well, it depends on who it is.
Unless you have a big schlong, and Karen's going to get off on it. But that's about it.
Yeah, she'll give extra points for that.
Yeah, she's already going ahead and trying to attack Mo. Oh. I don't know why, but whatever. He's new to the show, so it's like, God.
Fresh meat.
That's why I'm keeping them separated.
You got to put up that plexiglass, the plexiglass borders in between everybody.
Yeah, I'm actually ordering some off Amazon right now. We're gonna make you know how they have it on Jeopardy, on Final Jeopardy. We're gonna have that.
Cool. That'll look all official and everything on the video.
You know I'm kidding about that, right?
Right.
Oh man, yeah. But I agree with you. The Halloween movie, but the one movie that me and my family always have to watch is Hocus Pocus. That is like the best all-around movie, for family. We're not gonna say, watch Halloween and have people slaughtered. We're not going to have that. But
our girlfriend will 100% agree with you. That is her absolute favorite, and she's horrified and frightened about the remake. She's scared that it's going to be ruined. And
No, it's not going to be ruined. They're not even doing a remake. They would be talking about doing remakes for 2 years. Then it's not going to happen. So, ooh, fantastic. Hang on a second. Ooh.
Oh, we're getting breaking news, folks.
Yeah, I'm getting breaking news. All right, listen, I'm going to let you go. You go back and do your show.
All right, everybody has Chaz from the Charles Richardson Show. You have a good one, sir. All right. So, folks, you heard it here, man. We're doing a costume contest on Friday. If you tune into the Charles Richardson Show, make sure that you send him an email with a picture of you in your best costume. Who knows what the prize could be? It could be a pack of Sweet Tarts. It could be a brand new Chevy. Who knows? Who knows, right? Who knows? You'll have to tune in to find out. So anyway, let's go ahead and throw some more music into your Vajir holes really, really quickly. And then we're going to take a short break. Actually, man. Yeah, we're going to do that anyway. We're going to take a short break right now. How about that? Yes, that's what we're going to do. Short break, pausing the action for station identification. And we're going to bring you up to speed of what's going on with the sports world. That's right, with our own prospect, we'll be doing the sports update. So stick around, second half of hour number 1 right after this.
Directly into your brain.
And now your weekly sports update with the prospect.
Hello everyone, Prospect here with the weekly sports update on Alien X Radio. Fantasy football owners may want to pay close attention to this bit of information. Buccaneers have signed Antonio Brown to a 1-year deal pending a COVID-19 test. If all is good and the deal is finalized, Brown and his third team will be able to start in Week 9 when they take on the Saints. Of course, real fans will notice that this pairing between Brown and quarterback Tom Brady isn't nothing new, as they were teammates in New England for the one game that he played before being cut due to the ongoing sexual assault allegation against him. In fact, it was Brady himself that lobbied for his signing, possibly because of his chemistry with the embattled wide receiver, even if it was just for that one game. His relationship with coach Bruce Arians, however, wasn't that good, as Arians called him a, quote, diva when he was offensive coordinator with the Steelers. Still, his addition couldn't have come at a better time, as they have been wearing thin in the wideout spot, with Mike Evans on an injured ankle, Chris Godwin coming back from a hamstring injury, and Scotty Miller nursing a groin injury. Brown isn't out of the woods yet with the league, as any violations during his time in Tampa Bay will result in harsher penalties. Over in Washington, quarterback Dwayne Haskins had been fined by the league for violating the COVID-19 protocols. Haskins was seen at the team hotel with a family friend the night they played against the Giants and was caught before any possible infection could happen. The team fined him close to $5,000 for the incident. No word if he will start any upcoming games or if they will voluntarily quarantine him. Okay, I'll admit it, the NBA had it right for the most part on how to restart and ultimately finish the season during the pandemic with minimal changes to the schedule. The playoffs went on without a hitch as the fans saw the Lakers fulfill their destiny to win it all for the late Kobe and Gianna Bryant. Now the league is looking forward to next season, and it starts with a draft. The date will be November 18th, and it will take place virtually at ESPN Studios. As for next season, the league is hoping to start before Christmas with a 72-game regular season instead of 82, a play-in tournament, and no All-Star game. The idea is to get fans back into the stadiums to recover after a nearly $1 billion loss in revenue due to the game being paused and then restarted in a localized area in a bubble format. I'm pretty sure the cancellation of the All-Star game isn't going to last long because of the importance of the game in honor of the former Lakers star, so we will see how the future holds as the sport bounces back from this. Well, tune in next week for more sports. For Alien X Radio, I'm the Prospect saying until next time, Prospect out.
With the weather quickly changing, it might be a good time to have your furnace or air conditioner checked out by a professional.
Freedom Heating and Cooling.
They specialize in light commercial and residential service and installation. They even do hot water tanks.
Freedom Heating and Cooling.
Just check out this deal.
Complete installation of the iWave R air purifier for only $600. It kills mold, bacteria, and viruses while reducing odors and allergens.
Contact Eric at 313-920-2325. Again, that's Eric at 313-920-2325. Or get a hold of Dave at 248-345-8196. Again, that's Dave at 248-345-8196. Look for him on Facebook at Freedom Heat Cool. Call today for a free estimate.
Freedom Heating and Cooling.
Oh, honey, what a wonderful surprise. A dozen roses and chocolates, a candlelit dinner, and now champagne and strawberries by the fire. You're so romantic.
What do you say we get a little closer?
Igor? That's right, Igor here with the final ingredient for love.
Igor's lube?
Nothing gets things moving and grooving like my lube, and it prevents chafing.
Thanks, Igor.
And don't forget, Igor's lube now comes in cherry, mint, and salmon flavor.
Igor's Lube. Get some today and get some tomorrow.
Broadcasting from the dark side of the moon. Alien X Radio.
Resistance is futile.
This is Rob K from the Creeping Chaos, and you're listening to Alien X Radio.
To be still. God damn it, boy. Get the main.
Broken glass.
to our fate. Ashen leaves and shattered bones, combat boots and shells. Shoot your precious guns and thump your tones of bloodletting hatred and threats of hell. Hits you hard like a brick in the teeth. Can't even wade through the blood in the street. When the clock runs down and the job's complete, what do we do with all the spent meat? Life in a KJ fantasy scenes, 3 square meals and HD TVs, point fingers and dodging heat, while the world comes crumbling to our fate. You can't buy containment or read fear, and both are fleeting either way. Born without permission, we and more just keep coming every day. Over and over again, the cycle always stays the same. Shaking my head don't make us friends, and I've no time to play these games. Hits you all like a brick in the teeth. Can't even wade through the blood in the street. When the clock runs down and the job's complete, what do we do with all this bad meat?
Early films that featured zombies, for example, White Zombie, which is a film from the early 30s that has Bela Lugosi in it. The zombies in there are sort of truer to the folk or legend of zombies that we find in Haiti. So they're essentially slaves. You know, Lugosi plays this character who can convert his enemies into zombies or other people, but what does he do with them? He has them work in his sugar mill, you know, pushing wheels and grinders around and things like that. The zombies that we encounter in George Romero's film, Night of the Living Dead, which probably, in the absence of any literary foundation for zombies, probably Night of the Living Dead would have to serve in that place, I think, as a cinematic kind of a foundation that laid a lot of the ground rules for subsequent representations of zombies. I mean, there we have the whole notion of somehow something has happened. Is it some kind of foreign element, agent, coming from outer space or something, or some kind of plague or something that has reanimated dead people and given them, for whatever reason, this voracious appetite for human flesh, which nevertheless doesn't seem to be particularly necessary for their continuing zombiehood. It's one of the puzzling aspects of zombies is they must eat and eat and eat human flesh or brains or whatever, but it doesn't really seem to have an actual function physiologically for them. So I think in this way we might say that zombies, starting with the Romero films, and I think you can clearly see this already, and he's thinking along these lines with the second film, Dawn of the Dead, that zombies have a potential for being a vehicle for critique, or a vehicle for satire, a vehicle for making a particular point about the society we live in. So if I could just take up for a moment this example of zombies and their voracious appetite that serves no purpose, this could be understood as a representation of a consumer society that's out of control, a society in which people have been conditioned to consume and consume and consume, and to consume things for which they have no real need. And when consumption gets out of control, the ultimate result, at least would be if you're following the logic of the symbolism, would be destruction, social destruction.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, zombies could be understood to be a kind of cautionary tale, a parable, the zombie apocalypse, a symbolic representation of where we're headed as a society. Now, whether that's what's making zombies popular today or not, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that viewers and readers of zombie literature, which is, although there's sort of this lack of an originary text, now there's a proliferation of texts dealing with zombies. I'm not sure if that really is the answer to the popularity, but I think viewers and readers are able to detect the ways in which zombies can function as representations or vehicles for social critique. And you see it probably even more clearly in the parody films of zombies, like Shaun of the Dead or Fido, more clearly.
It seems like a very pessimistic outlook as far as zombies go, because there's no real winning. The zombies keep coming. You keep killing them, they keep coming. You kill more, and they keep coming.
That's right.
Oh, yes, very, very scary. Zombies. Zombies! Freaking zombies, man! Well, hey, let's go back 2 years ago for the Halloween episode of Just a Few Questions on 10/28/2018. It's very scary. And it's very funny. Just a few questions on the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space Halloween special.
Just a few questions.
All right, everybody, it is time now for Just a Few Questions, the Halloween edition. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. So we got two people answering questions today. We've got David
I'm kicking
and the stuttering Asian.
No, he's taking too much time, man. He's got
okay. It takes too much time to answer the questions.
Yeah, he just does his little spots here and there.
Gotcha.
Because he's still trying to say hello from when we started the show.
Gotcha.
So you just got to chill for a little bit.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
Are you ready? Trick or treat.
Trick or treat. Smell my feet. Give me something good to eat.
But first, you have to answer just a few questions.
All right. Hit me.
Number one. Question number one.
Question number one.
Question number one.
One question.
You got an invitation to stay Halloween night in a haunted house.
Ooh.
If you are able to stay the entire night, you will get a $500,000 shopping spree in the music store of your choice.
How much?
$500,000.
Ooh.
All right. If you have to flee early, you have to give Terry Crews a sponge bath while he's dressed in a sexy witch's costume.
Why is Terry Crews always come back?
We love Terry Crews around here.
All right, go on.
As the doors creak behind you, a clap of thunder and a flash of lightning makes you pee just a little.
Chicharito.
Yes, just a little. This is going to be a great night. After you are shown your room, you begin to unpack your overnight bag. A few moments later, you begin to hear scratching noises coming from your door. You slowly open the door to see what's making the noise. Is it A, a creepy black cat with yellow eyes? Is it B, a stumbling lost zombie trying to find his room because he's dead tired? C, it's Igor with a complimentary bottle of lube and he tells you might need it later. Or D, it's a groupie desperately trying to get out of your room after finding out that you're just the bass player and go. Oh, see what I did there?
Oh.
Dodge and weave.
Oh.
Dodge and weave, man.
Oh, man. See, you threw me off on that one. Okay, so 500 gram. It's closed. I'm at the door. There could be a cat.
Yeah.
See, I feel like this is going on like a Dungeons and Dragons adventure.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
It's kind of like a Mad Libs type thing. Okay. / Dungeons and Dragons. Like, if depending on which answer, and that's why I can't see your pages, you're gonna branch off somewhere else. Which means that I'm very, very worried about the Igor thing. However, I feel like it could lead to good things. Okay.
Right. He's not telling you who.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
or why
He's not going to tell you who or why you need it. You know, you're in a haunted house. You know, it could be to slip out of a freaking basement window.
Right. He might be looking out for you.
Right. He could be. Exactly.
He might be the mole that helps people escape.
Exactly. You know, the cat. Don't black cats with yellow eyes or whatever turn into witches or something?
Something like that.
Isn't that some part of the...
I don't know. We weren't listening to the witches thing. We didn't play the witches thing.
Yeah, we didn't do nothing with witches today. Yeah. There's always next year.
Yeah.
I feel like the safe question is this, and I feel like I'm on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire right now. I'm going with Igor, dude, because I definitely don't want a zombie.
All right,
I don't want a zombie. So B is not even an option. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So
cat thing could turn into a witch, or just black cat myth in general. I definitely wouldn't want to go to that because I'm in a haunted house. Igor, the guy, is just chilling, looking out for me for one way or another. Okay. Blah blah blah. The groupie saying that I'm just a bass player is going to be a little heartbreaking to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like the glue that holds it all together, man.
So you're just gonna snatch up the lube.
I'm snatching up the lube and saying thanks, cuz I'm going to bed. Okay, I'm going with C.
And can you send up some tissue?
Right. Is there enough tissue in here, Igor?
Gotcha.
No, but walk like this.
All right, good answer.
Okay.
Good answer. Question number 2.
Two question.
Nice. Question number 2. The dinner bell has rung. You will be expected downstairs for dinner. You grab your wallet, phone, and keys, because we all need those items with everything we friggin' do in life. And head for the dining room. When you enter, you finally see who you will be spending the night with in this old house. Now, this is kind of a tricky question.
Now, see, that's what I'm saying, man.
I'm going to tell you.
This could be the little branch that went off after I said the Igor and the lube thing.
Right.
Okay?
I'm going to tell you what you see when you enter the room, the 4 people that are in this room.
4 people I see when I enter this room.
Then I'm going to tell you what those 4 people said to you at the table.
Okay.
Then you're going to have to tell me which of those people said that, and then guess what their name is. What? Yes. And well, let's do it. Ready?
Okay.
The first person is at the head of the table. He's a pale man in an old-timey tuxedo with slicked back black hair. The second person is someone you assume is a burn victim because every inch of their body is covered in bandages. The third person is some burly blockhead with stoner eyes and neck piercings. The fourth person is some hairy drooling dude that you conclude must be the famous dog boy from the tabloid magazine The Inquirer.
All right. So,
Igor brings out the main course and the socializing begins. Who told you what? And what do you think their name is? A, I'll go for each one of these and you just answer all of it. A, was born in the States but has visited London many moons ago. Which character was that said that?
That was D, the werewolf.
And that was his name. So you already answered the next question. So you just said it was D, and then I say, and what's his name? And you say, the werewolf. So that's 100%. So you can get 50% or 100%.
Okay.
You can get the right character, but the wrong name.
All right.
See what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Next one, which is B. Even though he is a romantic, he still sucks at relationships.
I'm going to go with A, head of the table.
Yep.
And that would be Count Dracula.
That is correct. Ding, 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 ding. Very good, very good. C. If anyone thinks they're getting my $500,000 shopping spree, they can kiss my ass. They can kiss my ass. Asp with a P.
Would that be me?
No.
Hold on a second. So who's saying this?
The person, one of the people at the table that I described earlier.
So I'm gonna guess that was. I don't think that would be the mummy. Would it be the mummy?
Where's the mummy from? Ancient Egypt. And what snakes are in ancient Egypt? The asp.
Gotcha.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
I got that one right.
With cheating. Yes. Okay. Phone a friend.
I do help you. And so his name is the Mummy.
The Mummy.
And D. And what's his name?
That would be Frankenstein.
Yes, very good. Actually, you're wrong. His name is
Frankenstein.
No! It's Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein was the doctors that created him.
Frankenstein's monster, correct.
All right. That has been question number 2.
Second question. Oh, look at you. Oh, see?
Where's my question number 3?
Oh. Good job out of you.
It's
nice talking to you. That's so awesome.
Well, let me look on my desktop. What the hell, man?
Oh, see? You jinxed it, dude.
I did. It's exactly what happened. All right, so.
Matt Martin's in the chat room. Martin.
Question number 3.
Three questions.
So now, it's off to bed. You settle in and finally drift off to sleep. At about 4 a.m., you wake up and find Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Leatherface all standing around your bed staring down at you. What do you do next? A, start wondering how great you're going to look as a lampshade. B, put your hand over your face and scream, really? Another freaking reboot? C, decide to give up music, jump out the window because you no longer need a shopping spree.
Right.
Or D, ask, what, no pinhead? And go.
You know what? I like where you're going with the pinhead thing. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going anyway. I'm going to be the sarcastic one. I'm going out being D. I'm going to be like, what up? No pinhead.
Yeah,
okay?
I like that too. I'd be like,
maybe like
nice ensemble, but
maybe
what,
be like
no pinhead?
What up, man? No Pinhead? You know what I'm saying? Do something like stupid like that. Because you're going to become a lampshade. You already know that.
All right. What would happen if you woke up and you saw them and you went, "Hey, what? No Pinhead?" And then all of a sudden,
Hi, this is Doc Bradley at Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies, and you're listening to Alien X Radio. And you'd better carry on listening to Alien X Radio, or I will tear your soul apart.
Essentially, you would crap.
You were hoping I was going to choose that answer, weren't you?
Yeah. You would essentially crap your pants and crap the bed.
Your soul apart. That was another movie that freaked me out as a kid, man. Hellraiser? Woo!
Oh, for sure.
But my mom let me watch that one, so see, I didn't understand that. Mom got mad at Dad for what let me watch Nightmare on Elm Street. Mom lets me watch Hellraiser.
Gotcha. And that has been the Halloween edition of
Just a Few Questions.
Didn't you have a question you wanted to ask him?
Oh, well, it basically involves the makeup. Having the makeup done. And I was just wondering, I mean, how bad does it hurt having all those pins pounded into the skull?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible, you know. But luckily, I'm blessed with pretty good healing flesh. And of course, we were sponsored by Tylenol as well. So between the Tylenol and lots of moisturizer, within a week or two, I was usually pretty much healed up.
Nice.
I still get bad headaches from time to time.
I can't even see any of the scars. So.
No, I know, it's great. It's fantastic.
That's amazing. Seriously though, how long did that whole process take to become?
Well, how long does it take to hammer a bunch of nails into it? That long. What, about 5 minutes, maybe?
Did they hire a carpenter and?
No, they couldn't afford a carpenter. It was just one of the makeup guys with a hammer.
One of the Three Stooges did it, right?
Yeah. To answer your question seriously, about 3 or 4 hours generally. Early on, it was more like 5 or 6. Everybody feeling their way with the makeup a bit. And the nails were simply preset in the foam latex pieces. So as they got glued onto me, on went the nails.
It's starting to get warm outside. Pretty soon my balls are going to stick to my leg. I got to get me some Freedom.
Freedom Heating and Cooling.
They specialize in light commercial and residential service and installation. They even do hot water tanks.
Freedom Heating and Cooling.
Just check out this deal.
Complete installation of the iWave R air purifier for only $600. It kills mold, bacteria, and viruses while reducing odors and allergens.
Contact Eric at 313-920-2325. Again, that's Eric at 313-920-2325. Or get a hold of Dave at 248-345-8196. Again, that's Dave at 248-345-8196. Look for him on Facebook at Freedom Heat Cool. Call today for a free estimate.
Freedom Heating and Cooling.
Oh, honey, what a wonderful surprise. A dozen roses and chocolates, a candlelit dinner, and now champagne and strawberries by the fire. You're so romantic.
What do you say we get a little closer?
Igor? That's right, Igor here with the final ingredient for love.
Igor's lube?
Nothing gets things moving and grooving like my lube, and it prevents chafing.
Thanks, Igor.
And don't forget, Igor's lube now comes in cherry, mint, and salmon flavor.
Igor's Lube. Get some today and get some tomorrow.
The views and opinions expressed in the following show do not necessarily represent those of this station or its sponsors.
All right, folks, it's hour number 2 of the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space, the Halloween edition. We just heard the 2018 Halloween edition of Just a Few Questions, where Igor was born. That's right, Igor's Lube and his entire family of products. Everything from Governor Glue, the Gretsch Trap, to the Skinbridge coolant, to the brand spanking new Viking Lube, which is squid flavored, and it's called Sea Beast with sea salt for extra grit. All of that stuff and many other products, including their apparel and everything, all that sprang from that episode when Igor just randomly showed up at the door with a bottle of lube, gave it to D-Unit, and said, hey, you might need this later. And just like that, a legend was born. Anyway, folks, hour number 2 of the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space continues. More Halloween stuff. That's right, everything's Halloween. Even the songs. I mean, every song that I find has got something to do with witches or monsters or evil or demons or dead, something. It might not be a Halloween song because I'll get kicked off of Facebook, for playing like The Witch Doctor and Purple People Eater, all that kind of stuff. I'll get in trouble. Can't have that now, can we? Leave me alone, Zuckerberg! Can't call him a loser. I mean, you do have lots and lots and lots and lots of money like oozing from your anus. Anyway, let's go ahead and get our number 2 underway. I'm a little confused of where I'm supposed to be at right now because I know that we there's some stuff that got skipped because we got a phone call and that was awesome. Love getting the phone calls. That's right, I remember what we were supposed to do this time around. We are going to give you a little history lesson like we did the first hour. We did a This Day in History, which we do at the beginning of every one of the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space podcast. Every single time that we go live for that show, one of the first things that we do is This Day in History. But we already did that. So, since it's the Halloween special, I'm going to give you a little history lesson about Halloween. So check it out.
From communion with the dead to pumpkins and pranks, Halloween is a patchwork holiday stitched together with cultural, religious, and occult traditions that span centuries. It all began with the Celts, a people whose culture had spread across Europe more than 2,000 years ago. October 31st was the day they celebrated the end of the harvest season in a festival called Samhain. That night also marked the Celtic New Year and was considered a time between years, a magical time when the ghost of the dead walked the earth.
It was the time when the veil between death and life was supposed to be at its thinnest.
On Samhain, the villagers gathered and lit huge bonfires to drive the dead back to the spirit world and keep them away from the living. But as the Catholic Church's influence grew in Europe, it frowned on the pagan rituals like Samhain. In the 7th century, the Vatican began to merge it with a church-sanctioned holiday. So November 1st was designated All Saints' Day to honor martyrs and the deceased faithful.
Both of these holidays had to do with the afterlife and about survival after death. It was a calculated move on the part of the church to bring more people into the fold.
All Saints' Day was known then as Hallowmas. Hallow means holy or saintly, so the translation is roughly Mass of the Saints. The night before, October 31st, was All Hallows' Eve, which gradually morphed into Halloween. The holiday came to America with the wave of Irish immigrants during the potato famine of the 1840s. They brought several of their holiday customs with them, including bobbing for apples and playing tricks on neighbors, like removing gates from the front of houses. The young pranksters wore masks so they wouldn't be recognized. But over the years, the tradition of harmless tricks grew into outright vandalism.
Back in the 1930s, it really became a dangerous holiday. I mean, there was such hooliganism and vandalism. Trick-or-treating was originally a extortion deal. Give us candy or we'll trash your house.
Storekeepers and neighbors began giving treats or bribes to stop the tricks, and children were encouraged to travel door to door for treats as an alternative to troublemaking. By the late 30s, trick or treat became the holiday greeting.
Liz was doing her homework at the dining room table. Her younger sister, Sarah, was asleep upstairs. Their mother was out, but she was expected back any minute. When the front door opened and shut, Liz called, "Hello, Mama." But her mother didn't answer, and the footsteps Liz heard were heavier, like a man's. "Who's there?" she called. No one replied. She heard whoever it was walk through the living room, then up the stairs to the second floor. The footsteps moved from one bedroom to another. Again Liz called, "Who's there?" The footsteps stopped. Then she thought, "Oh my God, Sarah's in her bedroom." She ran upstairs to Sarah's room. Only Sarah was there, and she was asleep. Liz looked in the other rooms, but found no one. She went back down to the dining room, scared out of her wits. Soon she heard footsteps again. They were coming down the stairs, into the living room. Now they went into the kitchen. Then the door between the kitchen and the dining room slowly began to open. "Get out!" Liz screamed. The door slowly closed. The footsteps moved out of the kitchen, through the living room, toward the front door. The door opened and shut. Liz ran to the window to see who it was. No one was in sight, nor were there any footprints in the fresh snow that had been falling.
This is David Crawford from Dawn of the Dead, and you're listening to
Well, that is a sucker punch to the gonads.
You ever wonder what it'd be like if aliens came down from outer space? Well, this is what they'd sing. We've come from a distant rock to see what you monkeys got. We watched you for years and years, so cry out your final tears. People of Earth, people of Earth, people of Earth, people of Earth. You're gonna die now.
The BS News is brought to you by Igor's Lube and his family of products. Got a sweaty taint? Try Igor's Skin Bridge Cooling Gel with Roll-On Applicator. A little dab will do, and you'll stay cool all day. That's Igor's Skin Bridge Cooling Gel. Ask your doctor. And now it's time for the BS News. I am Alienstone. Budget cuts are preventing the replacement of a wheel on the Batmobile, lost and missing since last Christmas. Interviews with Bruce Wayne ended abruptly when he was told that he smells and was asked to take a shower. In leaving, he referred to Robin's handling of the situation as laying an egg. And as a result, Gotham's most wanted criminal has gotten away. A study reveals that politicians and reporters that read from teleprompters and scripts often do not comprehend or know what they are reading or saying at the time. This has led to on-air reading of typos and even repeating things they have already said, repeating things they have already read, making them look foolish. After all this time, scientists are warning against taking Halloween candy as it could contribute to the spread of COVID-19. Still, no official warnings about obesity and diabetes as the other known side effects. A study reveals that politicians and reporters that read from teleprompters and scripts often do not comprehend or know what they are reading or saying at the time. This has led to the on-air reading of typos and even repeating things that they have already read, making them look foolish. And finally, today's top story. The Peanuts gang will cost you a little bit this year as they are moving to a streaming service. When asked to comment on this controversial move, a spokesperson from the show said, and I quote, saying, "Good grief." He went on to say, "Having the show move right before the holiday season is like having a football set up for you and getting it pulled away right before you can kick it." Executives at the streaming service were not available for comment. And that has been the BS News. I am Alienstone.
Halloween of 2019 was the most terrifying night of my life. I live in Australia, and because we don't celebrate Halloween as enthusiastically, we don't get as many trick-or-treaters, around 5 or 6 people at most. I am personally a huge fan of Halloween though, to the dismay of my parents who would prefer not to acknowledge it. Obviously that leaves me in charge of putting up decorations and handing out candy. This particular year, Halloween fell on a school night and a storm began just after 6 o'clock, which unfortunately meant my efforts preparing the decorations had pretty much gone to waste. Ignoring my better judgment, I still waited for trick-or-treaters in the living room and watched The Conjuring to pass the time. Around an hour and a half later, I got a message from my friend M on our group chat, asking if anyone would like to mess around and go trick-or-treating. At first I was confused. We hadn't gone trick-or-treating in over 5 years, but I decided it would make the night more enjoyable as nobody was knocking on the door anyway. My other friends, who I'll call S, C, and H, all agreed and asked M where we should meet up. M quickly replied he couldn't make it, which was strange because he was the one who offered to go trick-or-treating, but he suggested a house which has lots of candy. Me, S, C, and H all arrived at the house within half an hour. A large table with a pumpkin bowl filled with lollipops stood at the front porch, and after checking the windows to make sure we weren't being watched, we emptied the bowl between us, only leaving a few to avoid suspicion. As we turned around to leave, we were greeted by 2 men dressed as clowns approaching us up the driveway. They had huge painted smiles and tilted heads. I could tell we were all creeped out, and one of my friends screamed as they started bolting towards us, one squeaking its rubber nose as they chased. After running for what felt like an eternity, we finally lost them. We decided to go to M's house so we could discuss what just happened in a safe area. However, when M answered the door, he burst into laughter. "What the hell are you guys doing?" he said, confused. "You told us to go trick-or-treating. Can you just let us inside?" S replied. After sitting down on M's couch, we all soon realized M had lost his phone earlier that day, and a stranger had suggested the idea of going to that house, presumably some sort of trap from the clowns. After another half hour, I cautiously made it home by 9:30, finished my movie, and went outside to collect the candy bowl I set up. I was shocked to see the bowl was completely empty. However, my stomach turned when I saw a clown nose was now laying inside of it. I told my parents everything that happened, and showed them the clown nose that had been left at our house. They assured me it was just some Halloween prank. I woke up around 1 a.m. to noises coming from my bedroom window, like rocks hitting the glass. Although I was scared half to death, my curiosity got the better of me, and I eventually opened the blinds. My Halloween decorations were destroyed and littered the ground below. I stared motionless in complete shock until a lollipop was thrown at the window, breaking my trance. I looked up and saw them, the 2 clowns perched upon the neighbor's roof, looking down at me. I screamed and ran away towards my parents' room. I'll skip the details that followed, but the police were called and the clowns were not found. The officers informed us they would check out the house my friends and I trick-or-treated at, and they left in about half an hour. The following morning, we were told the house was abandoned, and M's phone was discovered inside. That day at school, I learned M, S, C, and H all had creepy experiences during the night as well. I'm not sure if the clowns followed us home or they somehow tracked us through M's phone. All I know is that Halloween is only a few weeks away, and I am completely terrified they'll return.
I breathe you in and out, come sin. I have you running through my veins. Your venom sweet, your poison lust. You treat me with hate, yet you have all my trust. Got a trail of tears and my blood is smeared. You tore off my mask and unveiled my pain. You've seen it all and you broke me down. Now you're the drug and I'm the addicted. Reach out, I'm helpless. There's no escape from your hollow soul. You pulled me in and you pinned me down. What once was warm is now free. freezing cold. Can someone hear me? I'm trapped by the heartless. I scream out in agony. I'm swallowed by the darkness. My world's heaven in disguise is now my hell, drowning out my cries. I'm burning deeply, I'm growing weak, I'm lost in sorrow, I'm incomplete. Can someone hear me? I'm trapped by the heartless. I scream out in agony. I'm swallowed by the darkness. The deed is done, there's an unmarked grave. My spirit lingers and it's you I crave. I'll haunt your memories, I'm in your dreams. You'll see me standing, you'll hear my screams. Now I'm your nightmare, I'm always here. I'm your reflection in the mirror. Don't close your eyes, I'll be all you see. I'll make you feel all my agony.
Hi, this is Jamie from Rain, and you are listening to Alien X Radio.
Broadcasting directly into your brain.
And now your weekly sports update with the Prospect.
Hello everyone, Prospect here with the weekly sports update on Alien X Radio. Fantasy football owners may want to pay close attention to this bit of information. The Buccaneers have signed Antonio Brown to a one-year deal pending a COVID-19 test. If all is good and the deal is finalized, Brown and his third team will be able to start in Week 9 when they take on the Saints. Of course, real fans will notice that this pairing between Brown and quarterback Tom Brady isn't nothing new, as they were teammates in New England for the one game that he played before being cut due to the ongoing sexual assault allegation against him. In fact, it was Brady himself that lobbied for his signing, possibly because of his chemistry with the embattled wide receiver, even if it was just for that one game. His relationship with coach Bruce Arians, however, wasn't that good, as Arians called him a, quote, diva when he was offensive coordinator with the Steelers. Still, his addition couldn't have come at a better time, as they have been wearing thin in the wideout spot, with Mike Evans on an injured ankle, Chris Godwin coming back from a hamstring injury, and Scotty Miller nursing a groin injury. Brown isn't out of the woods yet with the league, as any violations during his time in Tampa Bay will result in harsher penalties. Over in Washington, quarterback Dwayne Haskins had been fined by the league for violating the COVID-19 protocols. Haskins was seen at the team hotel with a family friend the night they played against the Giants and was caught before any possible infection could happen. The team fined him close to $5,000 for the incident. No word if he will start any upcoming games or if they will voluntarily quarantine him. Okay, I'll admit it, the NBA had it right for the most part on how to restart and ultimately finish the season during the pandemic with minimal changes to the schedule. The playoffs went on without a hitch as the fans saw the Lakers fulfill their destiny to win it all for the late Kobe and Gianna Bryant. Now the league is looking forward to next season, and it starts with a draft. The date will be November 18th, and it will take place virtually at ESPN Studios. As for next season, the league is hoping to start before Christmas with a 72-game regular season instead of 82, a play-in tournament, and no All-Star game. The idea is to get fans back into the stadiums to recover after a nearly $1 billion loss in revenue due to the game being paused and then restarted in a localized area in a bubble format. I'm pretty sure the cancellation of the All-Star game isn't going to last long because of the importance of the game in honor of the former Lakers star, so we will see how the future holds as the sport bounces back from this. Well, tune in next week for more sports. For Alien X Radio, I'm the Prospect. Say until next time, Prospect out.
With the weather quickly changing, it might be a good time to have your furnace or air conditioner checked out by a professional.
Freedom Heating and Cooling.
They specialize in light commercial and residential service and installation. They even do hot water tanks.
Freedom Heating and Cooling.
Just check out this deal.
Complete installation of the iWave R air purifier for only $600. It kills mold, bacteria, and viruses while reducing odors and allergens.
Contact Eric at 313-920-2325. Again, that's Eric at 313-920-2325. Or get a hold of Dave at 248-345-8196. Again, that's Dave at 248-345-8196. Look for him on Facebook at Freedom Heat Cool. Call today for a free estimate.
Freedom Heating and Cooling.
Oh, honey, what a wonderful surprise. A dozen roses and chocolates, a candlelit dinner, and now champagne and strawberries by the fire. You're so romantic.
What do you say we get a little closer?
Igor? That's right, Igor here with the final ingredient for love.
Igor's lube?
Nothing gets things moving and grooving like my lube, and it prevents chafing.
Thanks, Igor.
And don't forget, Igor's lube now comes in cherry, mint, and salmon flavor.
Igor's Lube. Get some today and get some tomorrow.
All right, now we are going back just a wee little bit here. Stomping all over the vocals on that. Running out of time here in this hour to squeeze in another Halloween episode of Just a Few Questions. Going back to 10/27/2019 for Billy Bob's Backyard Barbecue Halloween Party. It's just a few questions on the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space. All right, it is now time for a very special Halloween edition of Just a Few Questions with Concrete Angels, The Unit, myself. Are we ready to go? And Colin.
Hey there.
I'm over here, Derek. Harry. Hey. All right. Hey. So happy Halloween, everyone. It's time to celebrate the spookiest time of the year. So you've all decided to take a trip out to a cabin in the woods for a Halloween weekend. Hunting, fishing, hiking, vegetating, whatever.
Yeah, that sounds like us.
It's going to be a party. So you all load up the van, pile in, off you go. You have planned every minute of your trip. So first things first, who will be in charge of what along the way? First, first, who's going to be the driver?
I got it.
Colin's going to be the driver. Who is going to be the navigator, the person in charge of the maps and GPS and such?
Navigator.
All right, navigator. Who will be the keeper of the snacks?
Jared's the cook.
So what, are we talking about snack guy or Scooby snack?
Regular snacks, like chips and dips and pretzels.
I'm the snack guy.
So you're the snack guy then. All right, there's the snack guy. Who will be the keeper of the Scooby snacks?
Ruh-roh. I can handle that.
Scooby will be.
That you have to say your lines in that voice. I love it.
It could almost be like everybody in the Mystery Machine. And finally, who's left?
The bucket guy?
Yeah, so you will be in charge of dumping the bucket out of the window because we ain't stopping for shit.
Hey.
So, 5 hours, 6 joints, 5 bags of chips, and hundreds of miles later, your navigator, who has been staring at the map for the last hour, suddenly shouts,
"Hey, there's a shortcut coming up over here to the right. Looks like it could save us about an hour. Should we take it?"
I think we should. We are all out of Doritos and cheese puffs and cupcakes and brisket.
Briskets? Are you high, man? We didn't even bring any briskets, man.
No, you stoner. There's a sign that says barbecue briskets next exit.
That's the shortcut, dudes.
Barbecue it is.
Everyone but the bucket guy says,
Meat.
Sure, you guys don't have to deal with the bucket later.
Nice. So, an hour down the road, with the van on fumes, you finally see a light up ahead. As the old building comes into view, you can finally make out the name. It says, Billy Bob's Backyard Barbecue Brisket Butcher Shop, Filling Station, and Gifts. As the van motor sputters out and it coasts to a slow stop next to the gas pump that time forgot, you all get out and look at the place. There's an old man sitting in an old rusted lawn chair just by the door. So, now what? A, do you head inside and pay for the gas, get some junk food and barbecue? B, tell the old man you love what he's done with the place and enter anyway? C, ask the old man if he knows who Igor is and could he use some lube? Or D, you realize that you have all seen this movie before. It doesn't end well, but you go inside anyway.
Igor's
C.
lube.
Definitely going with C.
Unanimous.
All right, so Igor's lube, and you go in anyway.
All day.
Okay.
All day.
Yep.
The wild,
Everything's more fun with Igor's lube.
it is everything.
More fun.
It keeps a sticky situation slick.
Bam! Write it down in the book. Good one.
Trademark.
All
We're
right.
gonna have to. We're gonna
That's
start.
worth a bottle. Take that home with you.
All right.
Emily, we're gonna have a good time tonight.
Get out.
The wild card answer that nobody chose. You tip the old man to play his banjo while you're all eating your brisket. No, okay. Bonus question. Billy Bob's menu shows unusual cuts of meat. What will you all order? On the menu, you'll find elbows, armpits, knees, and tongues. What are you going to order?
I'm gonna order tongue.
Tongue. So you want something that's going to taste you before you taste it?
Yes.
Okay.
Elbow.
Elbow.
Tongue.
Tongue.
I'm going tongue.
Tongue.
Give me that armpit.
Armpit, yeah.
See, that's what.
It's close to breast meat.
It may be a little stinkier, but it's still juicy.
Tongue is a finer cut.
Yes.
It's a fine.
More tender.
Filet mignon.
You don't eat it for the smell.
Listen.
Good God. All right, so
Question number 2.
question number 2. We're just into question number 2. After eating giant piles of barbecue and developing the meat sweats, you all start to get a bit sleepy. Could it be the food? Or could it be the Scooby snacks? Either way, you all pass out in your plates and wake up in a dark room. No windows, no doors. Only a soft flickering light can be seen through cracks in the walls. You then realize that you're all chained to the floor in the center of the room by your ankles with about 2 feet of chain each. Just as your eyes begin to adjust to the little bit of light that you have, an old TV turns on in the corner. the static fades and your host has been revealed. He's wearing a mask that looks like a scrotum with eyes. Sackface begins to speak. Hello, travelers. By now you can see that you are trapped. Those chains are made of hardened steel, and no, there is no hacksaw hidden in the room. This is not a movie. If you want to survive the night, you will have to play a game. Are you ready?
What kind of game?
Yeah, what kind of sick game are you playing here?
He wants us to kill each other.
Oh, okay. I'm smoking a joint. Who's with me?
Anything is better than bucket duty. Bring it on, snack face.
So, you are all friends and claim to know each other fairly well. But that is not as it seems. Today, you will learn who you really are or suffer the consequences. I would like you all to play a game that you know very well. Truth or Dare. Scooby Snack Guy.
Oh, my bad. Oh, wow, man. I'm good at this one.
What? You knocked us out so we can play Truth or Dare?
Yeah, without chicks?
Silence! Who will go first? Someone has to go first.
I'll go first.
Okay, so Bucket Guy goes first. Let me find Bucket Guy on the list here. Bucket Guy, I dare you to drink the contents of the bucket after everyone has filled it with processed briskets, or you may choose truth. What will it be?
Truth.
Your question is, have you ever needed to take an emergency shit in public, in a bucket, behind a dumpster, or the dining room of the Cheesecake Factory?
No, I haven't.
You have not?
Not in a bucket, no.
No, anywhere like that. Anywhere in public. Behind a dumpster,
not
at a Cheesecake Factory, anywhere.
No, Dude, I had to do an emergency deuce at Wally World one time.
But was it in a bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that doesn't count.
Yeah, but no. Outside, no.
In an unnatural place.
Honestly, no.
It's the most natural feeling.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Doesn't get more natural
I
than
can
that.
tell you about me being in that situation so many times.
Dude, man, like, it's always like... You know, you go out for breakfast with the wife, you hit the Coney Island, and then it's like, you know, they always got to go somewhere. You know, hey, let's stop here. No, we got to go home first, and then we can go back out. No, we're already out. No, be pinching cheeks, dude.
Pinching cheeks. Not the way I like.
You can't help it, sir. I'm prairie dogging.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I've never had to, like in the woods. No, I have, like, no.
All right, good. You're clean.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, dude.
That's all right. That's good.
I mean, you know what? Next Saturday at the Maidstone, I'll be hanging out with the boys. Something might happen because outside would be way better than the inside bathroom. So,
Nailed it. Nice. Everybody do some
I feel
outside.
cleaner out
A couple
there.
miles away, I'll let you go to my house.
10-4. I love you, dude. Thank you.
If there's no door on the stall, I'm not deucing.
Oh. The toilet, chilling.
How do you just walk in? What's up, Justin? You know, what? Do my thing.
Like, I don't think that's ADA compliant.
That's why I would never be good in prison.
Good day, sir.
All right, so who's my driver?
Right here.
All right. I dare you to pull one of your own teeth out. Or you may choose truth. What will it be?
Let's pull out a tooth.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, do it now. On the air.
All right, Truth.
Truth, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Your question is...
I hope this one's good.
Your question is...
Ooh.
Besides yourself, who do you think is the sexiest person in this room, and how would you tell them?
Come on, smooth operator. Woo us.
Ta-da! Dun-dun-dun!
Here's how I would do it.
Answer.
I would say, Chris, you're sexy.
Handsome Chris over here.
I'm blushing.
You got a pretty mouth.
Is that how you'd tell me?
Nah, I'd look at you, Dad, and I'd say, hey, I need some gas money, and I ever told you how good looking you are?
Ooh, there you go.
That is smooth.
It's a little space.
Navigator! I dare you to cut off your left pinky finger.
Left.
She doesn't mind that one.
That was calculated, by the way. Instruments and such. Or you may choose truth. What will it be?
If I was left-handed, maybe. But let's go with truth.
Your question is, have you ever gotten the other chick because your friend already had the hot one? And is that friend in this room today?
I just got married, bro.
This says, have you ever?
Okay.
It doesn't say yesterday.
Not in the past 8 years.
Have you ever?
Honestly, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
But doesn't remember.
You've never fallen on the grenade? You've never taken one for the team?
No. I usually get the first chick. The sloppy seconds. At least I tried to.
Nice.
Or I used to.
Used to. Hi, babe.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Much love.
Snack guy!
Oh, yeah, that's me.
I dare you to bite off your own tongue.
Ooh.
Or you may choose truth. What will it be?
Tough. Let's go truth, baby.
Your question is, as a child or an adult, have you ever stolen money from a family member, friend, or prostitute?
Or prostitute.
Or prostitute.
I mean, those prostitutes.
I got to remind you about that.
Remember, they are people.
I
There's a bunch of them.
stolen any money, no.
Ever. Okay.
Ever, no.
We got some good people in here.
I try to be.
No outdoor defecation, no stealing money, and...
No, definitely. Outdoor defecation was him. We got that another.
Like if roles were reversed, he would have said yes, and I would have said yes, probably.
Because I could have told you some stories.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
We'd still be talking about it.
Right.
Yeah, I say you need
He's like, we have a group morals.
Right.
Yes.
We don't just have a code. We have a code to honor that code.
Right.
Scooby Snack Guy!
Ruh-roh.
I dare you to light your left foot on fire. Or you may choose truth. What will it be?
Oh, truth. I like my foot.
Since you are the stoner in the group,
No.
here is your question. What were we just talking about?
Oh, boy. This is a tough one. I'm pretty sure we were talking about being clean, and we just got to talk about how Mr. Buckethead was the defecator.
No, I was the defecator.
Oh, well.
Close!
And I stole
You
money.
had the subject matter.
Halfway there. Where's those Scooby snacks?
About to say, sorry, Reggie.
He's already ate them.
And finally, the bonus question.
Oh, there's a bonus question.
If you all crapped out half of your processed brisket, how much would each of the 5 of you need to eat in order to fill a 10-pound bucket later?
Ooh. How much time do we have?
One whole brisket.
That's a lot of brisket.
Yeah.
There's 5 of you. You're going to fill a 10-pound bucket.
I mean,
so
at least like 5 pounds.
So how much brisket do you have to eat?
2 pounds.
You need
2 pounds each? But you only shit out half of what you eat.
Oh,
yeah,
so
you're gonna need
20.
like 3-4 pounds.
4 pounds each, huh?
4.
4 pounds!
Yeah.
Good answer. So you're going to eat 4 pounds of brisket. And then you got that 10-pound bucket for later.
Oh yeah, we'll fill it.
Bring it on.
Hope it's got a lid.
And you know who gets that 10-pound bucket, right?
It's time the Thunder Bucket beat the Thunder Maker.
And then just when you think the pain is over.
Question number 3.
Question number 3! He's like, holy crap.
There's more?
Yep. Sackface appears on the TV again and says, congratulations, you have won the game. Your prize awaits you in the next room. Just then, the locking mechanism releases and the chains fall off of your ankles. A door opens to the right. You all look at each other and quickly get to your feet, I'm sure that's what I'm supposed to say. Get to your feet and head through the door, which quickly closes behind you. Before you are... Wow, this is really written badly, I'm sorry. Before you, there are 3 windows with curtains drawn shut. Sackface says, your prize will be one of my daughters as a traveling companion for the rest of your journey.
Oh, why, man? We want a chick. We're going to get laid. What do you call a 6-way?
First behind curtain number 1 is Rose. She stands about 5.5 feet tall, weighs 120 pounds. She's wearing an eye patch, but not on her eye. and is completely bald. Behind curtain number 2 is Lily. She is about 5'7" and 132 pounds. She is wearing a scuba suit and a welder's mask. And finally, behind curtain number 3 is Cinderblock. She is in a motorized wheelchair and is wearing a bicycle helmet. She keeps yelling, "Cindy! Cindy!" When Rose was born, I placed a rose petal on her forehead, so I called her Rose. When Lily was born, I placed a lily on her forehead, so I called her Lily.
Let me guess. You placed a cinder block on the other daughter's head.
No, who the hell would do that? The nursery wall collapsed on her head in her crib. Cindy! Cindy!
That's so
Sackface says, now you must choose. Now, what have you chosen? You are all free to go. Now that you have chosen, you are all free to go. Would you like... Wait, you have to choose first. Which one of those ones you can take?
Cinderblock.
You want Cinderblock?
Nah. She doesn't sound like she's all there, so there's...
Because you can just, like, put her in the back corner of the van and she'll just kind of stay there?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
She won't tell anybody. All she can say is, Cindy.
Cindy! Yeah. All right, so now that you have chosen, you are all free to go. Would you like a doggy bag for the road? Not for the food, but to cover up my ugly-ass daughter's face while you're all running train on her somewhere down the road.
Oh, boy. Jeez, I did.
Have a nice day.
Igor's Lube.
Hashtag Igor's Lube.
We're going to need a bigger bottle.
Igor's Lube for when you're running train on her halfway down the road. Anyway.
You don't derail. You're running train on a Cinderblock.
Thank you. Come again and tell your friends. The wild card answer that none of you chose. Can we take all 3, Sackface? We're thinking of starting a circus sideshow brothel. And your bonus question is, what will you call your circus sideshow brothel? A, Sicto Soleil, the okayest show on earth. B, Cindy's House of Sin, with handicapped accessible rooms. C, Sackface's Babes, glory holes and bakery. Or D, Concrete Angels, we rock 'em while you cock 'em.
I love it.
That's perfect. That's going to be my new slogan from now on.
We're getting a banner with that on it.
Oh, that's just...
That's a t-shirt right there, baby. You just have one of our faces.
D is out. D is out. He is tapped out.
He doesn't want it anymore, but he still takes it.
Oh, hashtag Igor's Lube.
Igor's Lube.
And speaking of taking it, it's time for Lightning Strikes.
All right, all right.
Remember, there is no right or wrong. It's just you have to agree with me. Chainsaw or machete?
Chainsaw. Well, wait a minute. I'm thinking machete. Chainsaw runs out of gas. Everybody's looking for gas when there's a catastrophe. I'm going machete.
See, now he used logic. He was going to get this. But now, you get to Lightning Strikes.
Yes.
And the rest of you get... Chains or rope?
Chains.
Rope.
Chains.
Rope. Harder to break.
Well, see, chains are heavier, though.
Yeah.
They're louder. Can't sneak up.
Chains? Rope. Because you can tie someone up in the rope. But the chains, you gotta get a lock, and you gotta get a bunch of other things. Get the combination, lose the key.
I wasn't thinking about having to hog tie someone.
Yeah.
What if she's really big?
Well, follow the questions here and you'll see what she's really big, yeah. Lots of rope.
Chains.
Duct tape or plastic wrap?
Duct tape.
Duct tape.
I'm going to go with duct tape.
Duct tape.
Say plastic wrap.
Duct tape and plastic wrap. They're both just as strong, but you can work with duct tape. Plastic wrap's just, God damn, this stuff is all
clings to
sticking.
itself. Yeah.
And then you cut yourself on that little
The
thing.
little razor blade that's way sharper than it should be.
Right, that like Jason should use in a movie to kill somebody with.
It's way sharper than it should be.
Yeah, but you can't make the invisible wall and trick your pet.
The next 2 songs are brought to you by Alice Cooper's Millie and Billy. Pickaxe or scissors?
Pickaxe.
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 I'm going to go with scissors. Scissoring.
Okay, I was going to go scissors, but just because it's scissoring now, everybody gets Lightning Strikes.
Nice save.
Shovel or gun?
Gun.
Shovel.
Don't run out of ammo.
Don't run out of ammo. But at the same time,
Shoot you and take
what if they got a gun?
I only need
Shovel's no good.
one round. That's all it takes.
That's because you got caught then.
And then I take your shovel, and I got both.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Use my gun, shoot you.
Take
Use
your shovel.
to bury you.
Tarp or garbage bag?
Ooh.
Tarp, probably.
Yeah, I'm going with
Definitely
tarp.
Good answer. You can work with the tarp and roll it up. Garbage bags, they're limited, then you got to cut them, and you got to open them up and everything. Their arms hanging out.
Yeah.
And they always say the hefty is hefty, but no, it tears just as easy.
They're just as wimpy.
You know, if she's got like fingernails, they'll go right through. The tarp is always the way to go. Bathtub or kiddie pool?
Kiddie pool. Disposable.
Got it. Disposable.
Same.
They can't check the kiddie pool in your house with luminescent surf stuff, whatever it's called, whatever it is. Yeah. But if it's in your tub, you're screwed. You got to move.
You can burn a kiddie pool easier than you can burn a bathtub.
That's right. Desert or the river?
River.
Desert.
Need water to survive and it's transportation.
Nobody goes out in the desert.
River.
Dude. You bury them in the desert.
River, you can use that tarp.
There's so many things in that water, though. The desert's pretty straightforward. Just don't die from heat.
Dude, have you ever seen Casino?
This is for disposing of a body, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Oh, well.
Chainsaw, machete, chains, rope, duct tape, plastic wrap, axe, scissors, shovel, gun, tarp, garbage bag, bathtub, kiddie pool.
I changed my answer then. Desert.
Desert. All right, we'll go with desert. Because you know why? Because nobody does they don't drag the desert like in.
Right. Rivers, man. That's bodies always come up in water, man.
Yep. It'll wash up on a train.
somewhere.
All you need is some chicken wire and a brick.
Well, I think we hear some experience on this.
And it's so weird. That's my next one. Chicken wire or a brick? No, I'm just kidding. That's good. That's good.
Trick question, you need both.
Yeah.
Scrotum or nutsack?
Screwed him.
Scrotum.
Well, yeah.
They're both right. They're both right. But nutsack is more funny.
It is. Unless you're saying scrote.
Scrote, yeah.
Hey, hang on, let me get my scrote out of your way.
He must be French.
Or sack face. I like that one too.
Scrota.
And finally, hookers or prostitutes?
Prostitutes.
Wow, in sync.
Hookers.
Prostitutes
a little more trashy.
Is
much more professional than hookers.
Right. You know, like what's the difference between a hooker and a prostitute? About $500. Yeah. That's the difference.
What's the difference between a dancer and a stripper?
Entertainer.
Taxes.
Taxes. That's good. And y'all, that has now been just a few questions.
Craziness.
Halloween edition.
The views and opinions expressed in the following show do not necessarily represent those of this station or its sponsors.
All right, everybody. It's hour number 3 of the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space, the Halloween Special Edition. Broadcasted to you live directly into your ear holes on Alien X Radio, Raw Talk Online, UG Media, the Lime City Radio Network, Sword Radio, and the Western Reserve Digital Radio Network, as well as many others. And, of course, in syndication and replay around the world on 920 WON, the Apple, and other stations like Get Smashed Radio in Seattle, Washington, just to name a couple. Folks, here we are, man. It's Halloween time. We have no idea what's going to happen on Halloween. The kids have been screwed this year, hardcore, all, with not being able to go to school, not being able to participate in their sports. A lot of high school students that were maybe going for scholarships in sports, they missed out on all that because they didn't get to participate or perform. Just everything that was available through school, that all got canceled as far as, playing instruments and just hanging out with your friends. So here comes Halloween, and, we got areas saying that there'll be no Halloween. It's not allowed. Well, I say get yourself a big bowl of candy, decorate your front yard, turn on your porch light, and be prepared. Because if the kids do finally go out there to trick-or-treat, they need you to be there so they're not just walking down a dark street with no Halloween for them. Even if you got to go get one of those little thingy-mabobbers with the little, it's got like the grip on it, and it's got the long stick with the little grippy thing on the end. Like old ladies use it to get like soup out of cupboards that they can't reach. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Well, you can use that. You can pick up like a little Hershey bar, a little Reese's peanut butter cup, and you can hold it way out and drop it in their little bag so they don't even have to come up on the porch. Keep their social distancing. Wear a mask too, you know, while you're passing out the candy. Make everybody feel comfortable. Put on gloves if you have to. If you're wearing a costume, you know, you'll have a mask on, I'm sure. Anyway, folks, Halloween episode. This is hour number 3, and I got a lot of stuff to catch up on. So I'm going to start off here with a little history about vampires on the Halloween edition of the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space.
Most people assume that our belief in vampires comes from bats. But in fact, the opposite is true. The myths came first.
You find vampire myths in just about every culture you look at.
The truth is, vampires weren't linked to bats until 1526, when a group of European explorers made a shocking discovery in Central America.
And the Spanish and Portuguese explorers came back with accounts that there really were bats that bit people and ate blood.
The explorers were bitten while sleeping by bats which, as they put it, fly like a bird but bite like a beast.
The explorers called them vampire bats after the vampires back in Europe.
The news soon spread to Europe, and people already sick with fears of the mythical vampires latched on to these blood-eating bats.
It's an example of how folklore has sort of crossed over into fact.
And out of this was born vampire hysteria.
There were a number of vampire sightings throughout Central and Eastern Europe. Local people were convinced that they had seen vampires, that certain people had been buried and were coming back as vampires. There were even cases where they dug up the graves and drove wooden stakes through the hearts.
For literally hundreds of years, people lived in fear. And in the late 1800s, the obsession with blood-sucking bats was immortalized in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Bram Stoker's novel Dracula was first published in 1897. It's never been out of print since.
The inspiration for Dracula was the vampire hysteria of the past 300 years, along with an obscure newspaper article.
Bram Stoker, when he was writing Dracula, found a very interesting little article. It was published in a New York newspaper in February of 1896. Most of it was about some of these vampire sightings, but there was this little section in the article on vampire bats.
The result? By combining history and science, Stoker created an unforgettable character.
Dracula is one of, if not my absolute favorite fictional character.
You have this vampire attacking these pure, virtuous women and turning them into sexually ravenous beasts.
I think that's the ultimate appeal of being a vampire.
This is Tom McLaughlin, writer and director of Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, and the lead singer of The Sloths. You are listening to...
Well, that is a sucker punch to the gonads.
I've been listening to the radio ever since I was a little boy. And my mommy, she taught me all I know. She bought my first guitar as a toy. I would play every day. I wrote lyrics to it too. Radio zombie, why won't you call me? Radio zombie, come on. Radio zombie, the rhythm is on me. Radio zombie, come on. As a youngster, I had a perfect band. It was easy to pretend. But then I wrote the perfect uniform. Stoner and rock street just play it on your shirt. Radio zombie, why won't you call me? Radio zombie, come on. Radio zombie, the rhythm is on me. Radio zombie, come on. Then I heard a perfect tune. I called my mom, I told her to listen to the radio. Then I heard a perfect tune. Called my mom, I told her to listen to her little boy on the radio. Radio zombie, now that you call me. Radio zombie, come on. Radio zombie, the rhythm is on me. Radio zombie, I'm on. Radio zombie.
It was a stormy Halloween night. I was with my three friends John, Mary, and Keenan. Since we didn't have any real plans and were kind of just hanging around, I decided to grab the Ouija board from my closet. All my friends were down to try it. I wanted to be funny but also set the mood, so I got 3 candles, lit them, and turned off all the lights. The 4 of us sat at the table with our hands on the planchette. We started off by saying, "Is anyone there?" Of course, the planchette started to move and we all started to laugh. It went from Y to E to S, spelling yes. John and I began asking the really stupid, goofy questions, like, "Will you haunt Mary?" And she kept begging us to stop. But as the planchette moved to once again spell out the word yes, we all erupted into laughter. To be honest, I didn't even contribute to moving the piece around the board. I just assumed John and Keenan were messing around for the most part. Then, without anyone asking a question, the planchette started moving to spell the words, "I'm inside the house." More laughs, until there was a huge, very obvious thump sound from directly upstairs, like right over our heads. It most closely resembled a boot stomping on the floor. All of us jumped. Mary started screaming and freaking out. John, Keenan, and I didn't know whether to laugh or be freaked out. My parents weren't home. No one was except for me. We don't have any pets. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. We looked at each other. Then I went to look through the peephole. I opened the door. It was a dad and his young son trick-or-treating under an umbrella. I opened the door and handed the kid some candies. But once I shut the door, it was back to the current reality of the situation, which was figuring out what the hell that sound was. I convinced all 3 of them to come upstairs with me just to check. We all got to the upstairs hallway. All that was on was a nightlight plugged into the floor outlet. We were halfway through the hallway, approaching my parents' bedroom, which was the room directly above the table we were sitting at, where we heard the noise. That's when we all heard the same thing. It was this voice of a girl. What was said, none of us could hear it, but all 4 of us agreed we heard the voice of a girl in my parents' room, followed by the sound of something being dropped on the floor. Mary and Keenan ran down the stairs freaked out, but not making a peep. John and I, however, approached the door. I opened it quietly and pushed it open slowly. I looked into the dark room, and I saw something tall standing in the far corner of the room. I slammed the door shut and we ran down the stairs. We stayed in the living room and flicked on the lights, and then noticed one of the candles by the Ouija board was blown out. I called the cops, and a few minutes later when an officer arrived, I asked him to check my parents' bedroom. I led him up the stairs and pointed at the door. He knocked on it and announced police, then opened the door quickly and flicked on the light. He checked the closet, under the bed, nothing. That's when we followed and entered the room as well, and I can confirm no one was in there. While we were at it, we checked every single bedroom and bathroom up there. There was not a single possible place anybody could be hiding. After the police officer left, we threw the Ouija board in the neighbor's garbage, and we all sat under the awning in my backyard listening to the storm in silence until my parents returned. After telling the story to my parents together, eventually my friends left. My parents seemed to believe us, but what could they really do? I didn't sleep too well that night, and obviously I have no plans of using a Ouija board ever again.
When a woman screams, I just feel the need to be there.
I'm aware he was ill the day he just stood still, but he told us where we stand. And Flash Gordon was there in silver underwear, drawing rings to the invisible man. Then something went wrong for Fay Ray and King Kong. They got caught in a celluloid jam. Then at a deadly pace it came from outer space, and this is how the message ran. Science fiction, double feature, Dr. X will build a creature, see androids fighting, Brad and Janet, and plants and stars in Forbidden Planet. Oh, 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 oh. At the late night double feature picture show. Carol was over a barrel with director of to the hills. And I really got hot when I thought that it got fired and dipping in before you kill. Danny edges the bruise, gave him the booze, and I could not use off the scale. But when worlds collide, they put down the divide. Give you some terrible thrill, like a science fiction, double feature, Dr. X will build a creature, see androids fighting, Brad and Janet, and Francis stars in Forbidden Planet. Oh, 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 oh. And the late night double feature picture show. I wanna go. Oh, oh, oh. To the late night double feature picture show by a Mayo. Picture show in the back row. At the late night double feature picture show.
The girl driving the old blue sedan was a senior at the high school. She lived on a farm about 8 miles away and used the car to drive back and forth. She had driven into town that night to see a basketball game. Now she was on her way home. As she pulled away from the school, she noticed a red pickup truck follow her out of the parking lot. A few minutes later, the truck was still behind her. I guess we're going in the same direction, she thought. She began to watch the truck in her mirror. When she changed her speed, the driver in the truck changed his speed. When she passed a car, so did he. Then he turned on his high beams, flooding her car with light. He left them on for almost a minute. He probably wants to pass me, she thought, but she was becoming uneasy. Usually she drove home over a back road. Not too many people went that way. But when she turned onto that road, so did the truck. I've got to get away from him, she thought, and she began to drive faster. Then he turned his high beams on again. After a minute, he turned them off. Then he turned them on again and off again. She drove even faster, but the truck driver stayed right behind her. Then he turned his high beams on again. Once more, her car was ablaze with light. What is he doing? She wondered. What does he want? Then he turned them off again. But a minute later, he had them on again, and he left them on. At last, she pulled into her driveway, and the truck pulled in right behind her. She jumped from the car and ran to the house. "Call the police!" she screamed at her father. Out in the driveway, she could see the driver of the truck. He had a gun in his hand. When the police arrived, they started to arrest him, but he pointed to the girl's car. "You don't want me," he said. "You want him." Crouched behind the driver's seat, there was a man with a knife. As the driver of the truck explained it, the man slipped into the girl's car just before she left the school. He saw it happen, but there was no way he could stop it. He thought about getting the police, but he was afraid to leave her. So he followed her car. Each time the man in the back seat reached up to overpower her, the driver of the truck turned on his high beams. Then the man dropped down, afraid that someone might see.
Hey kids, when you're not watching my show, the Sigurdsson Show Presents, you should be listening to Alien X Radio. That's where I'm at right now, out in space somewhere.
Alien X Radio.
The Witch, an iconic Halloween character, usually dressed all in black, with green skin, a tall pointy hat, and flying a broomstick across a full moon. But witches aren't just a Halloween cliche. They've got a long and tumultuous history that we bet you didn't know. Though many stereotypes come from Western culture, witchcraft has existed around the world and throughout history, including Asian, African, and many Native American societies. Long before the advent of science, witches were blamed for storms, accidents, disease, and other bad things that happen. In medieval Europe, anywhere between 100,000 and 200,000 people were arrested on suspicion of witchcraft. About half of them were executed. And did you know the accused witches were not just women, but men too, and even some children? Even after the witch hunts ended, Western culture remained fascinated with witches. The witch-filled fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen inspired L. Frank Baum to create his modern fairy tale, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, which featured the most famous witch in pop culture history, the Wicked Witch of the West. And did you know, Baum didn't intentionally make the witch's skin green in his book, but that's how she appeared in the Technicolor film version in 1939, and the image stuck. And what about that tall black pointy hat that witches wear? Members of Europe's upper classes wore similar hats during the 15th century, and the style later spread to commoners, the same poor country folk who were typically accused of paganism and witchcraft. The broom, a common household tool, was used by pagans during ancient crop fertility rites. It later became a common symbol of witches, who were said to use their brooms to hide their wands during the witch hunts. People also believed that witches would rub a special ointment into their brooms and use them to fly across the sky and perform their magic. And did you know that witches still exist in modern times? The modern form of witchcraft, known as Wicca, was founded in England in the 1950s. Its members worship nature and a female deity known as the goddess, and they take an oath to do no harm with their magic. There are now more than 400,000 Wiccans in the United States, but you probably won't recognize them on the street. They don't wear pointy hats, and not a single one of them has green skin.
Broadcasting directly into your brain.
And now your weekly sports update with The Prospect.
Hello everyone, Prospect here with a weekly sports update on Alien X Radio. Fantasy football owners may want to pay close attention to this bit of information. Buccaneers have signed Antonio Brown to a one-year deal pending a COVID-19 test. If all is good and the deal is finalized, Brown and his third team will be able to start in Week 9 when they take on the Saints. Of course, real fans will notice that this pairing between Brown and quarterback Tom Brady isn't nothing new, as they were teammates in New England for the one game that he played before being cut due to the ongoing sexual assault allegation against him. In fact, it was Brady himself that lobbied for his signing, possibly because of his chemistry with the embattled wide receiver, even if it was just for that one game. His relationship with coach Bruce Arians, however, wasn't that good, as Arians called him a, quote, diva when he was offensive coordinator with the Steelers. Still, his addition couldn't have come at a better time, as they have been wearing thin in the wideout spot, with Mike Evans on an injured ankle, Chris Godwin coming back from a hamstring injury, and Scotty Miller nursing a groin injury. Brown isn't out of the woods yet with the league, as any violations during his time in Tampa Bay will result in harsher penalties. Over in Washington, quarterback Dwayne Haskins had been fined by the league for violating the COVID-19 protocols. Haskins was seen at the team hotel with a family friend the night they played against the Giants and was caught before any possible infection could happen. The team fined him close to $5,000 for the incident. No word if he will start any upcoming games or if they will voluntarily quarantine him. Okay, I'll admit it, the NBA had it right for the most part on how to restart and ultimately finish the season during the pandemic with minimal changes to the schedule. The playoffs went on without a hitch as the fans saw the Lakers fulfill their destiny to win it all for the late Kobe and Gianna Bryant. Now the league is looking forward to next season, and it starts with a draft. The date will be November 18th, and it will take place virtually at ESPN Studios. As for next season, the league is hoping to start before Christmas with a 72-game regular season instead of 82, a play-in tournament, and no All-Star game. The idea is to get fans back into the stadiums to recover after a nearly $1 billion loss in revenue due to the game being paused and then restarted in a localized area in a bubble format. I'm pretty sure the cancellation of the All-Star game isn't going to last long because of the importance of the game in honor of the former Lakers star, so we will see how the future holds as the sport bounces back from this. Well, tune in next week for more sports. For Alien X Radio, I'm the Prospect saying until next time, Prospect out.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're in the home stretch now. The Attack of the Monday Morning Mancast from outer space. Just a little tad bit over 30 minutes left of the showgram, which means we are running out of time when it comes to playing just a few questions. And, of course, yesterday during Inside the Mothership, which is the home of Just a Few Questions, we did this year's Halloween episode. You heard in the first hour of today's broadcast, we heard the 2018 Halloween episode, and in our second hour you heard the 2019 episode. So now let's go ahead and play the replay of the 2020 Halloween episode, which is called Rebooting Halloween. And I was lucky enough to get both D-Unit in the studio and on the phone lines, the Alien X lines that is. We were able to get Sir Martin of Mad, that's right, from UG Media over there in the UK. And they were both answering just a few questions and, of course, disassembling and reassembling one of my favorite holidays, Halloween. So without further delay, let's go ahead and get to Rebooting Halloween. It's the 2020 Halloween edition of Just a Few Questions on the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space.
Just a few questions.
All right, folks, it is that time once again in the broadcast where I ask just a few questions, and it's going to be very spooky because it's time for the Halloween edition of Just a Few Questions.
I almost think Mad Martin should go solo on this one.
Mad Martin goes solo a lot, if you know what I'm saying.
It's true. It's true. Up, dump. Wagga wagga.
There's no nice here, sir.
You know what? I'm going to use it as my call sign. Wagga wagga is going to be like, Wagga wagga.
Wagga wagga, the call.
Wagga,
this
wagga.
is Wagga Wagga. It's O-Face. Come in, O-Face. This is Wagga Wagga.
Are you there? Are you there?
All right. No, sorry. This is Giggity Giggity. Anyway, go ahead. Start it. Just a few questions. The Halloween edition. Are you folks ready to answer these questions?
Never, ever ready.
You're like a
But
dog in a
willing
car,
to, yes.
unprepared for a turn. You cannot be prepared to answer just a few questions. And here we go.
Question number one.
Question number one is this. Just when you thought 2020 couldn't get any scarier, we are coasting into the end of Shocktober. And that means it's time for Halloween. After being told by local governments that Halloween has officially been canceled, you have decided to ignore that order and do Halloween up big and right this year. First thing you need to do is head out to the garage and bust out your holiday decorations and deck out your house. Your Halloween boxes are labeled rated G, PG, R, and wow. You think of the little children, and this being what could be their first Halloween, so you start with the box labeled rated G. Out of these items, what one do you think is in the wrong box?
What's in the box?
Remember, the box is labeled rated G.
Rated G.
Of these items, which one do you think is in the wrong box? A teddy bear dressed as a ghost. B, an animatronic singing pumpkin that tells jokes. Or C, a strap-on dildo that looks like a human femur bone. And Mad Martin, go ahead.
It's going to be the teddy bear as a ghost.
The teddy bear? That would be scary.
See what he did there?
Yeah. Mad Martin says the teddy bear with the ghost should not be in the rated G box at all. What do you say of the three items there?
I think I'm going to go with the femur bone strap-on.
The femur bone strap-on dildo.
Yes.
You don't think that belongs in the rated G?
I don't think that's supposed to be.
What if it was rated G spot though?
But a femur bone?
I see what you're saying. That's a mighty. That's
a huge bitch.
Yeah. Let's just say if you're on drugs, you shouldn't be operating that heavy machinery.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
It's educational.
You know, if you said like another bone that I don't know the name of.
Right. Nice choice of a nice, very popular bone in the body.
A very popular bone in the body.
Can't think of it right now, but it's popular.
What's the name of a bone that's really popular? Femur. Write it down.
So, one teddy bear, a singing pumpkin comedian, and a prosthetic skeleton dick is not gonna get it. So,
skeleton dick.
So you open the other boxes and start decorating.
Yeah.
After setting up a torture chamber, a mad laboratory, and a smoke-filled cemetery complete with tombstones and zombies, it's time to add the details. First, what will you have written on the tombstones? A, Dracula, the Wolfman, and Dr. Frankenstein. B, will it be Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Don Dokken?
Yeah! Don't even need to go any further.
Or will it be C, My Last Nerve, a clump of Ron Jeremy's chest hair, and Courtney Love's vagina? And D Unit. You may choose first.
I'm going with B, buddy.
B?
B.
So Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Don Dokken.
Yup.
All right.
So those are going to be on the heads of the tombstones, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Sir Mad Martin.
Is there a wild card for this?
For this particular question, there is not a wild card.
And therefore, I shall go with option number 2, the same as Unit of D.
Yeah, he don't like Don Dokken either.
He's rude. He says mean things.
He's not a very nice fellow.
And he's pudgy.
Yeah. Smells like beer that he spilled on himself.
Now, on to the zombies.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember you set up zombies out in the tombstones, remember? The zombies are set up. So, random zombies crawling out of their graves has been done to death. No pun intended.
Wah, wah, wah.
So what will your zombie theme be? You have to theme out your zombies.
Okay.
So will it be A, the Beatles walking across the crosswalk on your lawn? Like on the album cover, you know what I'm saying? Another walk.
Got you.
Okay. B, Would it be Dead Saturday Night Live cast members tribute? So they would be dressed up as Gilda Radner, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Andy Kaufman, John Belushi, and they'll be dressed as their most famous SNL characters as zombies. Or would it be Dead Rock Star Supergroup tribute?
Yeah.
So dressed as zombies, it would be Kenny Rogers, Neil Peart, Little Richard, Charlie Daniels, and of course Eddie Van Halen. Now they'd be arranged on stage, rocking your face off with their faces off. Or D, make up your own theme. Sir Martin of Mad.
Oh, very good question. I think I like the Rockstar one, but I'll have to have Lemmy and Dio in there.
Okay, so we're gonna put Lemmy and Dio. It's gonna be a massive rock band up there. So we'll add Lemmy and Dio, and we'll see what will be your answer.
A-list rockers only.
A-list rockers only.
That's it.
Okay, I'm going to go with comedians playing poker. Okay.
I'm with you on this.
Okay. I want to have Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Steve Martin, and Sam Kinison. And then George Carlin as the dealer.
I'm with you.
Nice.
I didn't know where that just came
I'm
from.
digging that.
I think
it just came to me.
That's how just a few questions happens.
You know, I was going to go with the rocker thing, but I think I've been overplaying that lately.
That's beautiful.
So comedians playing poker.
I love it.
And all of them are dead apart from Eddie Murphy.
Oh, yeah, you said Eddie Murphy, so.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, you didn't kill him off. But he's a zombie, so you can't. I didn't say they had to be dead.
You didn't.
I didn't say that. I didn't. And that brings us to...
Question number 2.
Question number 2. One of the best parts of Halloween is going to the Halloween parties. This year, you will be throwing a giant Halloween bash. You will have the best food catered by the best in the business. An open bar with the most talented bartenders and a Bud bar hosted by Cheech and Chong. Not impersonators or your buddies in cheap costumes, but the real freaking Cheech and Chong dressed up as the Corsican brothers. This is going to be epic. Now it's time to plan some of the party games that you will be having your guests play. And how will you give them a unique twist? What games will you choose? And feel free to add your own twists. After all, it's your party. So, the first one would be bobbing for apples. Partygoers attempt to retrieve apples from a tub of water with their mouth. The twist is you use raisins instead of apples, warm Igor's squid-flavored sea beast lube instead of water, but still using their mouths. Or B, wrap the mummy. Partygoers race to wrap their teammates like a mummy with toilet paper. The twist, you use duct tape instead of toilet paper, an enemy instead of a teammate, and after shots, have the partygoers paste together a ransom note letter that they cut out of magazine clippings. C.
I like B.
I like B lots too. I like B.
I mean, if you want to read off C, go ahead. B sounds like a hell of a lot of fun, though.
Doesn't it?
Got a lot of candidates for B.
Right.
That one's going to get an honorary win just in case.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. All right. It wins the popular vote. All right. So, candy corn relay race.
Oh, gee.
Partygoers toss candy corn from one bucket to another to see who can get the most in the bucket on the other side. The twist is, instead of playing this game, everybody does the world a favor and just dumps all their candy corn directly into the trash can and does a shot. Or, number 4, pumpkin carving contest. Partygoers show their creativity by carving small pumpkins. The twist is, you use a small pumpkin and a zucchini, making it a phallic and mechanically correct carving to scale. And go.
I did it. As creative as both C and D were, and A, B was just way more creative. And B just sounds like a lot of fun.
So we're going with Rap the Mummy.
Rapping the Mummy.
Gotcha.
Rapping the Mummy. Yeah, absolutely. A unanimous
absolutely
decision.
brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
All right, so Rap the Mummy, where you use duct tape instead of toilet paper, an enemy instead of a teammate.
Yep.
And after shots, have the partygoers paste together a ransom letter from magazine clippings.
Sounds like fun.
All right.
Yep.
And there's a bonus question on this one. The bonus question is, will you allow games of Igor's Naked Twister? And how long till the cops show up?
Yes, and the cops can join him.
They'll get there as soon as they can. They got to get off work first. All right.
And then we'll film it. And then it's like, well, you know.
That's right. And look what we found. We got your badge here. Want to buy it back?
Your gun's in the car, which is now inside the swimming pool.
Bringing us to...
Question number 3.
Question number 3. Question number 3. Now that your house is decorated, your party is all set, and your guests will soon be arriving, it's time to get yourself dressed. Oh, crap! You never even thought about your costume. All you have are pieces of costumes from the past. What will you use to assemble a last-minute costume? A Freddy Krueger mask, a ball gown, and an airsoft M16 machine gun. You'll call this costume Freddy Goes to Hollywood. B, Daniel LaRusso's headband, a powder blue tutu, and a red ball gag. You'll call this costume If Do Right, No Can Defend. C, a Darth Vader helmet. That's the secret Wade. A Darth Vader helmet, scuba suit, and a pink chainsaw. You will call this costume Turn to the Dark Side. We have mushrooms. Or D, a Skeletor mask, a leather dominatrix bodysuit, and now you remember why you have the strap-on femur bone dildo. This costume is called the Castle Grayskull Backdoor Buster. Mad Bart, you get to go first this time around.
Ding! I'm calling the last bit.
So you're gonna go with the Skeletor mask, the leather dominatrix bodysuit, and the strap-on femur bone dildo, the Castle Grayskull Backdoor Buster. Mad Bart.
Yes.
The unit.
I was honestly not thinking that he was going to go with that one, and that's which one I was going to go with. So we're just shooting 1,000 today, Mad Gramps.
Hey,
I know, right?
Great minds think alike.
I know.
What can I say? You know what I'm saying?
That's
twisted minds as well.
What was the first one again?
The first one was a Freddy Krueger mask, a ball gown, and an airsoft M16 machine gun. Freddy Goes to Hollywood.
That'll be on the Devil's Night one. I'll wear that on Devil's Night.
Devil's Night. Got a Devil's Night costume. We got a Halloween costume.
Yeah. Well,
we're getting dressed up for Thanksgiving.
Technically, Devil's
Not a turkey. Huh?
You know, when you're out there doing stuff on Devil's Night at midnight, it's Halloween, right?
That's
night day.
There's a time when it flip-flops over. Keeping going on the same question, remember, in addition to your awesome party, kids will be coming to your door soon dressed as little monsters. I know, not much of a costume for most of them. Am I right?
Oh, they're going to be scared. They're going to be real scared.
But the line of witches, superheroes, cartoon characters, and representations of their parents' political and social beliefs will soon march up your front steps. What special treats will you have for your little ghosts and goblins that are also tricks? A, caramel-covered onions on a stick. It's an apple, kids. Here you go. Crunch. B, Baker's chocolate-covered frozen peas. Wow. candy corn. That's right, candy corn, Johnny Depp, same level. D, sugar-coated olives.
Oh.
And there is a wild card answer on this one. And D unit, will it be caramel-covered onions on a stick, baker's chocolate-covered frozen peas, candy corn, or sugar-coated olives? It's a treat. It's a trick.
I'm going to go with the caramel-covered onions.
Caramel-covered onions on a stick, says the unit. Mad Martin, what are you going to...
Just because I know he's going to go with
feed the children of the...
Oh, see, this is great minds. Yes, I will go with the wild card piece for 1,000, please, Bob.
I didn't want to take it away from him. I knew he was going to go with the wild card.
The wild card answer that you have chosen is pizza rolls straight from the microwave and instructions to eat them right away and very quickly.
I'm seeing more of a lawsuit on that one. Why is your kid leaving that house screaming? She wasn't wearing a mask.
Your bonus question is, I can't stand it when older teenagers come up to my door wearing a hoodie and holding out a plastic bag talking about trick or treat. What would you secretly toss into the bags of these lazy punks? A, a Tide Pod. B, a rock. C, the empty wrapper of the candy bar you just ate. Or D, nothing. And D unit.
I'm going to go with E, all of the above.
How could you give them...
Or I'm not going to give him nothing, but
yeah.
I'm going to go with the combination of the rock and the wrapper from the candy bar that I already ate.
A little Tide Pod, because he might like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going with B and C.
I'm going with B and C.
And Mad Martin, what are you going to give these little snot-nosed punks? Trying to trick or treat with a Walmart bag.
Dirty toilet paper.
That's it. A rock inside of the sweet wrapper that I'd already eaten.
Nice!
What a dick bird, man. He's got to, like, top me off on one.
So just carefully open up the Milky Way, slide that out, eat that, and then put a rock back in there and reseal it and give it to him, and wait for him to crunch down on it. That'd be fantastic. I'm with you on that. Good job out of you, finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Finally.
And that brings us to... Lightning strikes. True or false? Zombies primarily eat brains.
False.
Both answers.
No.
Zombies primarily brains.
Yes. True.
So from across the pond, we got. Zombies eat brains in only a couple of strains of zombie movies, like Return of the Living Dead. Most zombies will eat your fingers, your hand, your face, your ball sack, your skin bridge. They'll eat whatever. They just want to eat you. So, yeah, that brains. Yeah, that's only a few. So, you can kill a vampire by cutting off its head, exposing it to sunlight, or stabbing it in the where with the what? A vampire.
It's in the heart with a wooden stake.
And Mad Martin?
Primarily in the movies, it's a wooden stake to the heart, but all of them could work if they existed.
Both of you are correct. You got to get all technical and be like, well, you can answer anything you want because it's all fake. It's all fake anyway.
No, the holy water thing.
Holy water.
Holy water. Remember in the Lost Boys?
I didn't really do the Lost.
Oh, no, garlic. Garlic was what didn't work.
Yeah, I don't see why that would work, man. Because then they couldn't have pizza or nothing. They would be like,
I know,
that would suck.
That's going to be a very depressing vampire.
But I have never seen an Italian vampire. I can't even. It's hard. I couldn't even try to do like an Italian vampire accent. I'd be like,
can you picture Joe Pesci?
hey, what am I gonna like suck your blood? Yeah, we can do the New York. That's a New York vampire, so we can do that. So let's. El Pacino. What was that? Oh, that was still. I'm still on the second one on here. Okay. What is a male witch called?
Ooh.
A warlock.
I'm gonna go with the warlock for 1,000.
You are both correct. It's a warlock. A male witch is called a warlock. Now, why can't witches get pregnant? Why can't witches get pregnant?
I give up. Martin?
No, I'll give up as well. You lost me.
Witches can't get pregnant because warlocks have Halloweenies. Wah, wah.
Really?
Wagga, wagga. Really? That's the real reason.
Really?
That's the real reason.
Just a few questions and you have that.
Yep.
Oh dear.
You like that? True or false? Frankenstein was created by stitching together body parts. True or false? Frankenstein was created by stitching together body parts.
Incorrect.
False, yeah.
Your answer is correct, but then your explanation of your answer is incorrect.
Frankenstein was the doctor.
Yes, Frankenstein was a scientist who created a monster by stitching together body parts. Frankenstein was the doctor.
So it was the monster.
Frankenstein's monster.
They didn't call it.
Literally, they didn't say it in the movie. But we referred to...
That was a trick question. I'm calling shenanigans on it, dude.
That's a fucking trick question!
Because if we remember, ladies and gentlemen, at the in the movie where you've got he's alive, it's alive. He didn't have chances to name it because he got lots of angry townsfolk outside with torches and pitchforks.
Right, they were very, very angry because they were all censored on Facebook.
Whatever, dude. It's a trick question. Go on.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody's taken away from them.
Trick question. So, live Patrick Swayze sitting behind Demi Moore in Ghost, or Ghost of Patrick Swayze in a locker room watching Demi Moore undress in the movie Striptease.
Second one?
The second one is more entertaining.
The answer is whatever floats your real or phantom boner. Whatever, because both seem fine with me. They're both okay.
Just because Demi Moore's in it, not because...
You had short hair, innocent Demi Moore, and then you had long hair, big old titties, going to give you a lap dance Demi Moore. Which one you want? But with the lap dance Demi Moore, you're a ghost. And with the short hair Demi Moore, you're actually there. So, what are you going to do? You're kind of talent torn. You know what I'm saying? Continuing right along, we've got suckers or candy bars?
Candy bars.
Candy bars.
Of course. I always charged my nieces and nephews an uncle tax when they got back, and most any Hershey bars that they had in their bag was mine. Just Hershey bars. They give anything else, but the Hershey bars were mine. They tried one time they tried to trick me into saying that they were going to upgrade me to peanut butter cups, but I already had a bag of peanut butter cups, and I wanted the Hershey bars, so they used.
I got those for the kids next door.
I was like, you are in no room to negotiate, child. Sweet tarts or milk duds?
Milk duds. See, I have a feeling he won't go with milk duds because of the teeth thing or something. But he'll go really with sweet tarts.
I'm going to play the English card and go, I have no idea what you're on about.
You have no idea what is?
Either of them are.
You don't know what a sweet tart or milk dud is?
Oh, man, we got to get a care package going for him.
Wow, yeah, we're going to send it over to you. And trust me, it doesn't matter how long it takes to get there, the milk duds will be the same consistency.
Yes.
So, my answer is, of course, sweet tarts. Pluto does it. It's like, I don't know, it's like chewy old.
It's caramel.
I'm not a fan. I mean, they're not gross. They're not gross.
I mean, I wouldn't put them in a McFlurry or anything like that. But I also wouldn't put a
But
sweet
you
tart.
can put them in a fruit cake along with Skittles. Is that a Skittle? No. So, last one. What is most easily hidden in an apple? Needles or razor blades? What is most easily hidden in an apple? Needles or razor blades?
I'm going to say needle.
You say needles.
Both if you're smart enough.
What did you say there, Ben Martin?
Both if you're smart enough.
The answer is you should have never answered this question because now there is a recorded record of your answer.
Oh. You tricked me again.
That's what we do around here on Just a Few Questions. All right, folks, we are just about out of time for this week's episode of the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space. I do want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the Halloween edition. Again, any questions, comments, complaints, nude photos, whatever you'd like, send it to alienstone at alienxradio.com. Again, that's alienstone at alienxradio.com. I want to thank all of my affiliates out there, like Raw Talk Online, UG Media, the Lime City Radio Network, Sword Radio, the Western Reserve Digital Radio, 920 WON, the Apple 24.7, the Stream, Get Smashed Radio, all these other, I can't think of all of them right off the top of my head. I know I should have a list in front of me. I don't. My bad. I apologize. But again, until next time, this is Alien Stone saying Happy Halloween, and damn it, put on your porch light and get a bucket of candy, because even if one kid goes out trick-or-treating, you need to be there for them because they got screwed all year for everything else. Don't screw them out of Halloween also. All right? Peace out, everybody. See you next time.